Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. This is Society of Fat Mermaids' first Mermaid Makeup Monday. And we are here today with Ylluria, the crystalline siren. Ylluria will be giving all of us so many wonderful makeup tips and tricks, and will be here to just help folks like me who can only kind of do lip gloss, mascara, and blush to get perfected mermaid makeup looks. Anytime you see me all glammed up, chances are someone else did that for me. And as I personally am learning here in quarantine, it's kind of hard to get your makeup done if you're social distancing. So, I know lots of folks are out trying to increase their skills and increase their sense of connectivity here during this time of distance. And during one of our bi-weekly Sunday crafternoon events, someone asked us to do makeup lessons. And so here we are. Ylluria, I had the pleasure of meeting at Mermagicon, but she is honestly one of the first fat mermaids I discovered on Instagram. And I think we all have the experience of finding for the first time a mermaid that just resonates with us. And Ylluria was one of the first that I found right when I started Society of Fat Mermaids. Oh, by the way, I am Shay Monique. Always need to remember to introduce myself. Um, but yes, after following Ylluria online, I got the pleasure of meeting her in person this February at Mermagicon. Ylluria is just phenomenal with both mermaid and special effects makeup. And as soon as it was suggested that we do a makeup lesson, I was like, I know the right fish for that. Ylluria has been mermaiding for the past 6 years and I believe is based in Oregon and will be teaching us all sorts of fun stuff that is very beginner friendly and also wants to make sure to show us different ways to use techniques or makeup we already have. There is a little handout you can use to follow along, and the link to that is in our Facebook event invite. And once I get Ylluria on and am not, you know, focused on you all, I'll also see if I can put a link up in some note capacity. Now, I'm going to let you know that this is my first live stream. This is Society of Fat Mermaids' first live stream. And so, in terms of saying cool things like, I'm going to just post that link, I'm going to fumble. Just letting you know, but I will try to get you that link. I'm going to bring Ylluria on. I'm going to glamorously put my headphones back on because they slipped off. Um, Hi, Ylluria. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Shay, I didn't know that about me being one of the first people that you found on Instagram. That's pretty freaking amazing.
I
Wow, I'm
too.
a flutter. Hello, everyone. My name is Ylluria. If you can't say it, that's okay. You can call me Lily. That's perfectly fine too. I've been doing mermaiding for around 6 years or so. Been finagling with makeup for significantly longer than that. But before mermaiding, it was just off and on here and there for fun. Since mermaiding, I've been doing makeup pretty regularly for all my events and stuff and for fun with the crowd that I run in now. So it's it's been kind of magnified in my in my life at this point. So it's been an amazing ride. And I'm mostly self taught, but I am here to help you with anything that you might need. So if you have any questions while we're going through all this, please ask Shay. Ping us, let us know, because this is all about helping you and not just me talking endlessly.
Yes.
So,
So, yeah, any questions you have, just type it in the comments. My head will disappear soon so we can really focus on Ylluria. But I will be monitoring comments and I will have a disembodied voice occasionally chiming in with any questions you all have. And I am currently looking for that link for you guys. Is there anything else we need to talk about before I let y'all get started?
there is one thing I just want to briefly mention. So, the reason why I am barefaced, I would normally not be online looking as I do. But I think that's something that Shay and I both wanted to encourage, that there's no shame in bearing your real self and bearing your real skin. Flawed, I call these my constellations. I know that Guard Girl calls them her face demons, but I wanted something that didn't make me hate them. They're just the stars, my stardust coming to the surface. So, it's okay to not be polished and perfect all the time. And I hope that encourages people a little.
Okay, I just posted the PDF link. Well, it's slowly uploading in the comments. And we have our first question in from Amethyst, who asked, and they are asking for a friend. And Amethyst asks, what happens if you drop a palette and one of the shades shatters? Is there a way to press it back together? Asking for a friend.
Now, I'm curious, Shay, have you ever done this? Do you know the answer to this one?
I have never done this. I am so basic with my makeup. It's funny how often people see me fully done up because I'm totally lost. So even though I'm not going to be following along in terms of doing makeup, I've got a cute little Merkitty notebook that a friend gave me, and I've got my little pin, and I will be trying to monitor comments and also taking notes. So no, I do not know the answer. I may have broken one of my mother's palettes as a kid. That might have happened, but I've never tried to figure out whether or not I could press it back together.
Well, the answer is yes, absolutely. You can fix little individual pots of eyeshadow all the way up to like those big honking things of blush. Those, unless it's something like this, like my little highlighter that's got different ones in different sections, that's a lot harder to fix. But absolutely you can. So what you do is you just mash it up in the pan, mash it as finely as possible with like a spoon, or if you have one of those little jewelry hammers, something small that you can, or even the back of a fork, and just mash it into as fine a dust as you possibly can. Then add a couple drops of rubbing alcohol, believe it or not.
Hmm.
You just reconstitute that booger slowly and gradually until it becomes so- more like a solid. You're not going to get it completely dry at this stage, but then you just let it sit overnight. Once you get it looking the way you want it to, nice flat surface, you want to press it down so it's nice and pressed in the pan and is less likely to break again. And then you let it sit for 24 hours in the pan undisturbed, and it will be the eyeshadow or blush that you know and love.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I figured out how to get both of those links in the comments. Super proud of myself. Also, friends, when you post your comments, if you wouldn't mind posting your pronouns with them, and if your name is not one that might be conventionally easy to read, maybe a pronunciation. Otherwise, I'll just say someone asks, so I don't butcher your name. But if you do include your pronouns, Ylluria and I are both she, her. So that way I don't accidentally misgender anyone when I read out their comment. All right, I am going to take myself out of the picture so Ylluria can lead us to Makeup Glory.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. So I have to keep in mind for myself, this is reversed for me. So when I raise my left hand, it shows up on the right. So if I get a direction wrong or something, please let me know in the comments. I don't want to ignore anything. So what we're going to start with first, if you have blemishes like myself, before primer and all that good stuff, if you don't worry about this step, no problem. We're going to take a little bit of one of my favorite new tricks. I got this from Nikki, not Nikki Tutorials, Nikia Joy on YouTube. And if you have any blemishes, especially if you want this to last all day, if your makeup, you're going to be wearing it for hours and hours on end. Try to position myself in the center here. You take your eye primer. Especially if it's a long-lasting one, if it's a little bit sticky, I use the NYX Proof It, which is a waterproofing primer. The other one I tend to use is the CoverGirl, the sport one, and as you can see, I have used it so much there's no label left on it. And all you do, both to me and to you. You take your eye primer and dab it on those little spots. You want to make sure there's extra coverage on. Skin. I tried one of those. Has anybody tried those makeup erasers? They're so soft and so wonderful, but apparently my skin doesn't like being rubbed, so it erupted into pepperoni pizza. Makeup erasers are amazing though. They're these little towels that they clean off your makeup without any soap, without any chemicals. It's just a microfiber towel,
Ooh,
and they're miraculous.
that sounds awesome. There's some pretty amazing things that folks can do with microfiber.
Mhm. Mhm. Just make sure you've got enough primer on there to cover the whole blemish, but you don't want to slap it on. You're not putting on coverage at this stage. And then you want to dab it with your finger so you get it flat and nice and smoothed on there. And then you take your concealer of choice. I'm using the Jouer full coverage concealer. And you want your concealer for this part, if you are doing this step, to be the same color as your skin. I know a lot of concealers right now are used for brightening and highlighting and all that stuff, but you don't want to highlight your blemish. You just want to make it blend in. So take concealer and dab it on any spots that you put that primer on. Might put one right there. And then using your fingers, because your fingers are one of the things that will match the texture of your skin. Like a lot of people are really big on brushes, but even people who are really big on brushes say that for this part, the finger is the best because it will get all those places and blemishes that either a brush can't get to or that the brush will take product away from. It
Hmm.
will like rub your concealer away. Yeah. So your finger will blend it in. And if you have more than one, don't do like I did and almost forget. Remember all the places. And look it right there. How much better is that?
I see no constellations.
No constellations, exactly. So this way, if you want to go lighter coverage with your foundation, you can. I am personally a full coverage girl. We'll get to that in a second. But but it's just a quick, easy way to get rid of your constellations. I'm gonna move my phone here a little bit so it's not quite in front of the light as it is. Now we're gonna take our primer, and I have got the No Problem Prime Essence, what I'm using. There we go. And shade you use primer?
I am literally no, I don't even own foundation. It's really bad
No,
personally.
I'm jealous. I wish I didn't have to.
I need to. I really need to be here right now. I'm like, hey, let's have this class for people. It's me, I'm people. For fishes, it's me, I'm fishes. I believe AJ Dean. AJ is saying, hi, Ylluria, I found you.
Hey, Jay, what's up?
And Erica Beller is wondering if you're putting on makeup for underwater, does everything need to be waterproof? Now, I know we're going to do a class probably in about 3 weeks that's specifically on waterproof makeup, but I think
Mhm.
you could answer the question as well.
You want everything to be either waterproof, but that's really hard to come by. Even in the high end stuff, waterproof is, most people are like, oh, well, what do I need waterproof makeup for? The rest of the mermaid community are like, hello. um, but I would suggest either waterproof or long wear. Woo! Anything that says 24-hour, 18-hour, the longer the wear, the more it's meant to stick on your face, and it will help other things stick on your face. So that's what you're going for with your primers and your foundations and all your makeup if you're working for underwater. And what I just did with my primer, I put on a little too much. I keep forgetting how liquidy this stuff is. It's been a while. Haven't needed to go outside for a bit. But this is very, very runny stuff. And with primer, no matter what texture it is, you want to concentrate it. This is a pore blurring primer. You want to concentrate it where you need it. You don't want a ton on because otherwise your foundation will just slip right off. And if you followed along with the last step, you want to make sure that you put it not where you just put all your stuff on. You want to you want to put it around your blemishes if you had any, if you just did that last step, so that you don't risk pulling all the work off that you just did. If it is not a blurring primer, then you don't have to worry as much. You can put all over your whole face. But blurring primers, for those who aren't familiar, are to cover up your pores, usually, or any wrinkles, any fine lines, anything. They just help blur out your skin and give you that more filtered look. Does that make sense?
So like literally like if you put on like an Instagram filter,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
or
And
like
it's
a
kind of cool.
Snapchat filter. Okay.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
kind of cool. My favorite stuff. I got this from BoxyCharm, and now I'm addicted, and I have to go into the BoxyCharm groups to get more. This is the Cover FX blurring primer. It legit works. Like you put it on, and you're like, "Where did my skin go? There's no texture. How did that happen?" So I
That's
love this
BoxyCharm. Say that
stuff.
one more time. I'm going to add it to the comments because AJ just asked what brand is good. So you said it's the BoxyCharm
The brand itself is Cover FX.
Cover XX. Okay.
I got it in BoxyCharm. And for those of you on a budget like me, I can't afford $60 foundations and $40 eyeliners and stuff. If you are digging makeup but on a budget, things like Ipsy Plus, um, BoxyCharm, makeup subscription. Boy, can my face work today? Makeup subscription boxes are a great way to get makeup, try new stuff out, see what works for you, see what doesn't, without going to the Sephora and spending $60 on a foundation that you may not like or may not. And speaking of, get into foundation, no matter what you're using, shake. Make sure you have your dampened beauty sponge. Now, does everybody use sponges? Is anybody not familiar with these babies?
I've never touched one. They look really cool in the store though. So let's just assume I'm glad I'm the person like hosting this because my 6-year-old niece probably knows more about makeup than I do. And so I think that's a good like introductory to everything level of understanding. So yes, they look really cool in the store. I always want to play with them, but have I ever put one on my face? No. Kelly Kane is like me. So all right.
So they come in all different shapes and sizes. This is an original beauty blender that I have had and should probably be thrown away at this point. Undampened, small and cute. And now it's clean, but from years of foundation use, it's my color. They come in pink, and that's what they say anyway, but I disbelieve. There's ones like this, and again, it's been bashed up in travel. It's very clean, but he's a little careworn. This is from Eco Tools, and as you can see, he's got little ridges so that you can get in all the nooks and crannies. So there's a ton of different ones out there. The Beauty Blender is about 20 bucks if you're high end and want to go that way. This is another good one, Real Techniques sponge, and it's got a flat surface for you to do your flat sections with. Elf just came out with one, and I freaking love it. It's super adorable. Or no, not Elf, Wet n Wild. It has a little bunny, and it's got the Wet n Wild thing, and it gets right up in the corners. So that's what I'm using today.
And Elizabeth wants to know if you can use brushes if you don't have a sponge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's all kinds of cool brushes. And foundation brushes come in different types. You can get big, thick, fat ones that you can dab on. like that. There are some that you can paint on. I'm going into my giant brush collection here. Here's one. You can use, that's a little flip. You can use them to paint on. Use whatever's good for you. Some people like brushes, some people like sponges. I personally like sponges because that way I can make extra sure that I don't miss anything because I'm visually impaired and I'm afraid that there's like a little streak or something that I might miss. So yeah, use whatever's comfortable for you.
Okay, now Jade just asked what to do if you have rosacea, like really rosy sun damaged cheeks. Would the techniques you demonstrated earlier be appropriate for that?
You can do that. There's also something called color correction. And basically, you take whatever color you have. So if you've got rosacea, you have red coloring in parts of your face. You take a green color corrector. Sometimes there are green primers that help with that as well. And dab that on whatever section is in need. And that's after your primer. So you prime and then color correct and then put your foundation. And you don't want a ton on. You're not trying to cover like with concealer. You're trying to neutralize that color so that once you put your foundation on, that covers and goes away instead of concealer.
Awesome.
So I've got my little dampened sponge here, and I'm weird. Everyone loves these pumps, and I mean, I think they're cool, but I feel like they're really messy. So I just right on my face, one pump each, and then just go to town. You want to make sure you're spreading it out as you blend. Mm-hmm. And that's something else I love about sponges. They are wicked fast.
Ah. So yeah. Amethyst says that she doesn't use sponges and would like to learn how. So this is perfect. Kelly says she's at about my same level of we could stand to learn a lot about makeup. And Erica and Jade both say that they are makeup newbies. So
Welcome, welcome.
thank you.
See, now, a part of my learning to use foundation, I've struggled with skin issues my whole life. My first foundation was in high school. Does anybody remember the Aqua Minerals by CoverGirl? The little blue compacts that everybody had for a while back in the 90s? Yeah, that was me. If I didn't have to wear foundation, I don't think I would. Just because, what mermaid doesn't want to be natural and beautiful? But I mean, sometimes you want to go full glam, and that's good too. When you're using your sponge, you want to make sure you get your ears, as weird as it feels, up into your hairline. Don't forget the sides and underside of your nose, the
Ooh.
little crevice either side of your nose. You want to get your chin and down the underside of your chin and a little even if you want on your neck just to blend it in. You don't want that kabuki mask effect.
So
You ever see somebody out at the store and she's got foundation to here, and then you can see the other color? You just gotta blend.
AJ
And
says
what's
they
really,
also have, oh, I'm sorry. I was
no,
just
I was
reading
gonna say,
the comments off to you, just saying that
oh,
AJ also has rosacea, so this is super helpful. And Jade and their girlfriend are both watching and hoping to learn to be able to do each other's makeup. So, really enjoying it. And then let's see, Teresa, you asked if there's a link. I will type one in the comments, but it's right on our Facebook page. So you shouldn't have to join, but I will type that link right in. All right. Back on you, Ylluria.
I was just gonna say it's really nice to have people, friends with you sometimes when you're doing your makeup and you forget a spot. So we've got Shay here to be like, girl, you missed that jaw, or whatever. And I tend to go over it obsessively, but you don't want to go over it too much because you're taking away coverage. Every time you put your sponge down, not only are you blending, but what is a sponge? So you just want to be sure that you're thorough, but not sucking up all your foundation in the process. And this is what I love about makeup. You guys saw me at the beginning.
Yeah. Not a blemish in
It's
sight.
yeah, not a blemish in sight. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with rocking a blemish. Perfectly okay to have it. I go out grocery shopping with it. Like if you don't like my skin, look elsewhere. But when you want a change, it's nice to have.
Yeah.
All right, next we're gonna go with concealer. Who do we have that's painting along? Do we have anybody else who's painting along in the comments?
Let's give folks a second to catch up because I know there's a slight delay from like when you ask and they can type in. But Erica says that they did black eyeliner and lip gloss for years and need some new skills. That's basically where I am. I'm like lip gloss, mascara, and blush. Erica also says your skin looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. So I do something a little weird. So I double up in concealer and I'm not gonna try to go not can I talk please? I'm trying not to go full on mega glam, but there are ways that you can help out. Like if you've got luggage under your eyes and you really need to cover, um, you can take your chosen concealer and dab it in. And you do not have to use this much. I use it as a way of contouring and reshaping the face. So see how I've made it little triangles under the cheeks? You highlight the parts that you want to stand out and you shadow the parts that you want to bring back. So I want to emphasize the cheeks and the eyes in the center of my face. And so I'll put little bits of highlight there. Put a little on my forehead. And because I have such a prominent nose, look at that honker, I like to put a little highlight just down the center, but not on the tip. That way it brings the center part up and out and makes my nose look a little more even and not as beaky.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna let that concealer sit on my cheeks and just let it hang out for a bit. Some concealers dry faster than others, like the e.l.f. concealer is known for drying really freaking fast, the 16-hour wear. Some give you more playtime, so just experiment. Another technique I learned online when before I did all of the YouTube tutorials and stuff, I used to watch all of those. I always used my hands for everything. I put on my foundation, I like my eyeshadow, everything was all with my first I started watching YouTube tutorials and everybody was brush, 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 brush. And so I got more into brushes. But then I found out that the best way to hide bags under your eyes is the thing I've been doing all along. Your fingers are the best thing. Concealer in there.
That's good to know. Caitlin's following along with you, and I think Kelly is not able to follow along because Kelly is taking notes.
You're
So
welcome. Hi, Kelly.
it's going too fast to take notes. So I letting everybody know that we will be posting the link to the replay. I am gonna just restate this is our first live stream. I'm actually really happy that we've got such a engaged audience. But on the tech side, we're kind of fumbling through just a little bit. So I can't tell you when we're going to post that link, but as soon as we're able to, we'll get that up and back out to you all.
So for anybody else watching right now, I just added a little bit more in a lighter shade to the inner corners right under my eyes because those bags were still showing up. And I'm going to dab it with my fingers. Something important to remember with your eyes is that you don't want to drag You want to drag on them as little as possible. I mean, sometimes you have to blend, but you want to pat as much as you can instead of pull, because that gives you wrinkle bibbles.
Oh.
A lot of people pull on their eyelids. We'll talk about this when we get to that step, but to do eyeliner, and that's also not good for your eye bones. I put a little concealer on my upper lip, and again, that's to balance out the nose. You think about it this way, if these parts and these parts are bright, this part kind of recedes a little. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now we're going to go straight into our powder. I realize I should probably hurry this up so this isn't a 3-hour thing. How's your computer holding up, Shay?
My computer is doing great. Um, so yes, Ylluria knows that upstairs I have a better background, but downstairs I have stronger Wi-Fi. So I'm downstairs so we can all hang in there. And I think we're doing good with pacing. Erica says we're doing awesome. You guys can let us know because I know we have to hit that balance between being able to take notes, which it seems like a lot of people are doing, and also not being here all night long. So I think we're kind of at the sweet spot. It feels good, but please comment and let us know. I just posted another link to the face chart and I'm going to post, I think I just posted the PDF. I'm going to post the doc version as well. And AJ just sent us a thank you. Thank you, AJ. Thank you all for being here.
Very much. Thank you,
We
guys.
really appreciate you.
If anybody has questions, I made that PDF, that document by hand. So if you have any questions, if you don't understand a thing, if you need clarification, please feel free to ping me. The art in there is even mine. I wanted to decorate it with mermaids and fluffy mermaids, so art up in there as well. What I'm doing right now, some might consider it baking, but for me, it's less baking and more setting. My skin absorbs powder. I don't know why, but with your concealer, you pat it to make sure that it's nice and dry, nice and smooth. The thing that you want to do before you put any powder on is make sure it's nice and smooth and you get all the creases out. And once you put powder on, you are setting that concealer. And the last thing you want is to set a crease into it's like holding a sheet and pressing it flat and then sitting on the sheet and then wondering why it has a wrinkle when you unfold the sheet because you pressed that wrinkle into the sheet.
That makes so much sense. AJ is wondering what theme we're doing tonight.
Oh, we don't have a specific theme aside from mermaids. We're doing lavenders, golds, and greens. I'm challenging myself to do colors I don't normally do since I always tend to do blue and silver. What about you guys? Are you doing the same colors?
Let's see what folks chime in with.
Right now, by the way, what I'm using, I've got a bit of translucent powder. That is best thing to put, or some people put, like there is actual under eye powder that they make. But because of my skin issues, I love coverage and I have a bit of Coty translucent extra coverage powder. And that's what I use for all the things. Another good powder if you want to set your face and not break the bank. All the YouTubers absolutely love Maybelline Fit Me powder.
Maybelline what? I
Maybelline Fit Me powder is supposed to be really finely milled. It comes in a bunch of different shades. This is only one shade, but Fit Me has a bunch of different ones.
for some reason every time you say the actual name of the powder, I get Maybelline and powder and then you drop out. Can you spell it for me? I'm trying to type it in the notes.
Sure. Maybelline FIT, like the Fashion Institute of Technology. Me. Fit
Oh,
me.
Fit Me. Haha. Got it. And I think I totally spelled Maybelline wrong, but uh, she's not born with it. But you guys will know what I mean. Uh, so let's see. Jade would love to do reds and blacks sometimes, and purple, maybe gold. So purple and gold is what you said you're doing tonight. So that's awesome. And then Caitlin is planning on doing something pink based to go with a future whimsy tale. And I'm guessing Cheryl is Caitlin's girlfriend. I'm guessing. No, Jade's girlfriend, right? Jade and their girlfriend are on together, and says that I promised to try some beautiful makeup on you, babe, which is so cute. And then Erica likes grays and purples and then black for liner and mascara.
Nice. Love that. So for anybody curious, if you can't see the screen too well or if I'm covering it up, I'm using my beauty sponge to put on my powder. It, most powders also come with a sponge of their own, also perfectly good. You can use a brush, and I'll be using one of those in a second to dust away any excess. But because of the skin issues, I also love a bit of powder because with the um, concealer, the foundation, the liquid products, and then you put powder on top, you are literally resurfacing your skin. It's
Awesome.
as silly as it sounds. It's like spackle. you, you
I
lay down the
that. I'm like, oh yeah, like if you're like fixing a hole in your wall or something. I love
no,
it.
exactly. And you want to press if you do powder. Some people like Raw Beauty Christie. I don't know if you guys know her on YouTube. She doesn't hardly do powder at all. If you've got dry skin, if you've got more mature skin, some people aren't into powder, and that is perfectly okay. Same with foundation. You don't have to do powder or foundation or any of these steps to be freaking stunning.
True that. You said raw beauty, Christy?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And there's another YouTuber that doesn't do foundation, and she's oh, I can't think of her name, but I'm sure as soon as we turn this off, I will, and I will link you as soon as I remember her name. But this is what I'm using for powder for the ear spun. And this is my go-to. It just creates a nice bit of coverage without being too much. And then I take a big old floofy brush, one of my mermaid brushes here, and just dust away any excess. We don't want it to look like we've been playing in the snow.
The snow, that's so sweet. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, please.
I was going to say, Cheryl says that you make putting on makeup so flawless, which I felt like went right in with you going, I'm just playing in the snow.
Oh, thank you.
And Grace calls her makeup her spackle, and Alicia is a fan of the same powder.
It's good stuff, and it's one of those tried and true classics. Another one that people really like is the RCMA no color powder, and I haven't bought that yet, but I've been wanting to for years. I just keep meaning to, and then going $12 for powder. I just don't know, but like it's a thing like this. It's this massive tub of powder,
Last you a
so it's
couple
probably
years. Alicia asks if you have any advice for bronzer or bronzing.
yes, absolutely. So we're literally just getting into that step. So way to go, Alicia, for timing. So here we go. So you can go high end for bronzer. You can go drugstore. I am a fish on a budget. So I have always initially gravitated toward bronzers that were drugstore, but highly recommended from the YouTube people. Wet Wild makes great bronzer. Rimmel makes waterproof bronzer. Oh, another, I just pulled it out. Another great primer if you're a mer on a budget. Oh my god, my makeup stuff is so dirty. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't like, use it because it's filthy. Elf makes stuff called poreless putty primer that people talk about being comparable to this stuff called Tatcha silk canvas, which is like $90 for a thing of primer. This stuff is like $6.
You said it's comparable to a $90 primer and it costs 6. I
Yep,
like
this
that price point better.
is other options for bronzer. Like I said, Rimmel has a waterproof one and is really good color. You have to choose what you want, whether it's bronzer or contour. If you want bronzer, you want a slightly goldeny, reddish brown color. If you want contour, you want a slightly grayish tone because contour mimics shadow and bright red shadows, unless you're on the face of the sun, not so much. So I use this palette that again I got from BoxyCharm, Too Faced Naturals palette, it's called. And so we've got our bronzer and contour right here. What a pretty palette. I'm trying not to blind you guys here.
So the
So
bronzer and the contour are both in the same palette, but you have to pick which one you're using.
So for this palette particularly, we've got highlights on this side, blushes in the middle, and bronzer and contour on the bottom.
Got it.
On the left side. And the top one, I don't know if you can tell, but the top one is a matte, which means no shimmer, just flat color. The bottom one has a little bit of color, making it a little bit shiny, which looks good on the cheeks if you want to blend it with your blush, or if you want that sun-kissed glow. But contour, you want to keep more matte because, again, shiny shadows is just weird and doesn't really make sense. I'm going to take a little of that bronzer on my angled brush. I forget how pigmented it is. I like to put bronzer kind of in the same places that I put contour, but in a more blown out. That helps you shape your face. If you have like for me, I have a long face, so I like to fill my cheeks a little bit. And because I'm a little fuller on the bottom half of my face than I'd like to be, I sort of reshape my face a little bit by putting it on my jaw, under my chin. If you do it on your chin, make sure to get a little bit on your neck, just again to continue that shadow. While we're doing this,
Cheryl is wondering where to get Elf. Alicia and Grace said that it's at Target and Ulta. Is there anywhere else to get it that you're aware?
Elf is one of those, Elf is one of those great places, brands that you can literally get anywhere. Target, Walmart, Walgreens.
Okay. And as you're putting that primer on, as again, a person who like all these steps are amazing to me. It's like, what? This is all that goes on. And like, I know it because if someone does my makeup, they're like, I need an hour. And I'm like, an hour? Like, again, eyeliner, mascara, blush, 5 minutes, I'm good to go. And I'm like, an hour. But as you're talking about kind of like changing kind of the appearance of your face, so break that down like I'm in kindergarten again as you're doing it.
Okay, sure. One of the things that I like to do, especially for bronzer, you kind of want a fluffy brush so that it disperses the pigment out in a blown out way. This is something that I had to learn when a YouTuber finally said it. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I could never figure out what brushes to use. The more dispersed the bristles, more dispersed the color. The more
Okay.
packed the bristles, the more concentrated the color. So, like, this guy has just tons and tons and tons and tons of bristles. Here, haha, there's our little guy. So this guy has tons of bristles, very densely packed together, which means he'll dispense color that same way. This guy, Floofy, and he will blow out the color more.
Oh.
And as far as bronzer goes, and reshaping face, under my cheeks and back toward the ears. You don't just want to stop, you kind of want to put it back toward your hairline if you're doing your cheeks. For under the jaw, I put it underneath and back toward that like line where your neck meets your under chin. I also like to put a bit of it right behind the jawline so that you get a more pronounced jaw.
Oh.
Any drag queen will tell you have been in use for so long. If you have a prominent forehead, like I like to joke, I don't have a forehead, I have a 5 head. Some people have a 10 head, it's all good. You can use bronzer and contour and noggin a little bit. I hope you can see me okay. You
We can
always
see you.
want to put your bronzer on, again, into your hairline. I've seen even YouTubers do it where they stop right before, and then you get like the naked skin right in front of their hair, and it looks weird.
Like the makeup equivalent of that wig line.
Exactly. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to say something about wigs later on. Same with wig. Even if you're wearing a wig, if you're doing bronzer and contour up on your head, still do it into your hairline because that wig cap may slip, that wig may slip, and you do not want the naked hairline just sitting out there. Hello. Do you have any questions about face shapes? Is there a specific face shape you're curious about, Shay?
Not specifically. It was just you said something that felt so profound so quickly, and I'm like, wait, 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 wait. I'm in kindergarten. So I don't have a specific question about face shapes or anything like that. Um, AJ is grateful for the forehead information because they say you can land a plane on theirs. Um,
Oh,
oh, and AJ has a heart shaped face and wants it thinner.
okay. Basically, with it's good to have any arts background when it comes to makeup. So if you have have any experience with that, you're basically playing with light and shadow. So when it comes to chiseling out any feature, you think about where the light falls on your face. If you want to highlight something and make it a little, you make it a little brighter. If you want something to recede, and which means go into the background or maybe seem a little smaller, a little less, you make it slightly darker. Now that's, we're not putting checkerboards on her face. You've got to blend, you've got to work with a little bit. But like for me, when I do my cheekbones, oh, here comes a great tip. Um, Let me get some actual contour on here. Here comes another cover effects thing. So I'm going to start contouring. Contouring for me is a little more precise than bronzer. Bronzer often is just around the outsides of your face to give you that sun-kissed glow. Contour is like full on just chiseling out your features and changing the shape of your face. The compact I'm using, again, is Filthy because she goes with me on just about every trip I've ever been on. My Cover FX palette got me from BoxyCharm, I'm telling you guys. They've changed a lot though, so don't let me hype them up too much. I haven't gotten a palette in 3 months, so you may or may not like them at this point, but that's where I've gotten them in the past. So I take my little fat mermaid brush here. Is he not super cute?
So cute. Looks like us.
Right? And I got a full set of these. If anybody wants to get these, you can get them off of eBay and Rosegal and all kinds of places. But they come in different shapes. Got a little round one. This would be good for foundation because it's densely packed and flat. It's got that pointed kind of Brussels shape. Bristle. So these guys, I got off from Rosegal for like $4. So you can get them on eBay. You can get them all over the places. And this is like my go-to contour brush.
And Kelly has questions about the motions of the brush. And maybe that's different depending on what uh, you're applying. But,
Mm-hmm.
oh, wow.
So with contour, I learned a thing from Nikki Tutorials a while back. You want to not just, a lot of people start at the hairline and move forward, which is the basic motion, but placement. You don't necessarily put it right under the cheekbone. If you want to lift your face, you actually want to put a hair on the cheek, just under, like that cheekbone goes out and round. Let's see, goes out and around. You want to put it just above that under spot, and then brush up, lift up, so that your features are lifted a little bit, and your cheekbones look higher than they already are.
Oh.
When I tried it, I was like, oh, she's a miracle worker. So I like to put a little contour on the outsides of my forehead to sort of even out my face shape. And I like this kind of brush because it's got a very distinct line. So I just start here and go wee underneath the jaw, and the other way, wee underneath the jaw, and then you blend. Underneath the ear again, the same thing. We did the bronzer to sort of emphasize that jawline. And I've always tried to be really thorough with where I put the bronzer. I saw a videotape of myself from a great big performance. And as a performer, I look up and I'm singing, and there's this line. Like, now I'm real careful about blending.
You know, it takes that one time and then you learn your lesson. And Erica are both saying they never knew how to use that brush. So thank you for showing folks what this strange little chubby mermaid brush is for, that big flat brush is for.
You're welcome.
AJ says, oh, my stars, to your story about your kind of makeup line.
My debacle, yeah.
Yes,
Most
yes.
people got it.
You know, one little time and then we remember.
So again, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. This is important.
So again, here is my cheekbone is actually where it is. It's the little indentation. If you're fluffy around your face and you have a hard time finding where your cheekbones are, it's so cliche, but
Grace commented earlier that's what she does to figure out what to do.
so that's how you find your cheekbones. And then you go there, but just a hair above it. And I put my brush this way so that the long bristles are toward the back. And just, and then you blend upward so that your shading comes up. If you blend downward again, that pulls your face down and gives you that older look. You want to look youthful, unless you're not, unless you're doing like an older age makeup. But usually, you want to look.
Your brush.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. That's mind blowing. That's really cool.
I'm sorry, Shay?
I was just saying, literally, the stroke of your brush determines
Mm-mm.
kind of like how youthful or not the look will
Mm-mm.
be. Like you have to brush up to uplift. That's really cool. Folks are liking this. Lots of fans of the fish face. Cheryl is asking if the Bare Minerals is a product you'd recommend.
You know, I haven't tried that honestly because I haven't been able to afford it, but I hear rave reviews about it. I hear people really, really like that stuff. I would love to try it. I've seen all the infomercials at like 3 in the morning since I was what, like 13. That stuff has been around for a long time. I'd love to try it, but I've never given it a go. Same with, have you guys seen infomercials about the Luminous Air, the airbrush?
Yeah, I've seen those infomercials.
Dude, I want to try those. That looks so cool. Okay, so one little thing I will also say before we end with the contouring stuff is when you're contouring your cheekbones, you don't want to come any further than the center of your eyeball. So when you contour, you come down and even stop like outside the outer side of your eye. But if you really want to come in, you can. You just don't want to come too close to the center of the face because then it's a little drag queen and you cut off and then you end up looking like you have divided cheeks, which is not usually what you're going for. You're trying to show that you've got fabulous high cheekbones. So you lift your brush up and you generally want to stop it on the outer side of your eye. Another way I contour my face, for my face, it doesn't matter what anybody says on YouTube or even here. If you see somebody doing something and you try it out and it doesn't work for your face shape, it's okay because it's your face shape. My face contouring won't work for somebody with a round face, won't work for somebody with a heart face. So find what works for you. So for me, one little thing I do to contour my nose, and you can do this, apparently button noses are really, really popular. They have some psychological study where people gravitate, trust, and like people more who have a button nose.
Huh.
So I put a little bit of contour up underneath my nose bone, a tiny bit on the sides. I'm not trying to snatch my full nose and, look thinner because I've kind of got a long, slender nose to begin with. But for me, I put a little on the outsides. And then I take my brush just above, so the bulb of my nose is right here. So I take my brush and put it just above that, right? Let's see if I can show you. Right about here, right up under the nose bridge, to sort of create that shape, that button shape. And then, of course, it's much darker than I want it to be. So my Veramona stitch. And here's another tip that you will not find in YouTube. I have watched YouTube videos for ages. I've never seen this mentioned. Do you guys know what this is?
No.
There's a thing online called the Veramona color switch. Veramona color. And it's online for around $20. And I looked at it real close. And I found an Amazon dupe for $6. I got it. I pulled it out of the container. This is what you get. It comes in a little silver tin. And what you do with it, put the brush around, and that cleans your brush. What I found out after getting it in the mail is that this is the exact same as this, which
Huh.
is theatrical makeup stippling sponge that you can get for 25 cents at any theatrical makeup place.
Theatrical makeup stippling sponge.
Literally the exact same material, and it comes in different densities. So the Veramona is a finer density. This is a wider density, but it will still do the exact same thing, clean your brush. And you can get one in a bigger square for like $1. So I hope that helps some of you guys save a little coin. I
That
think the
is
beauty
awesome.
industry is
Jade
good
says
with
it's a super helpful tip.
it. I keep waiting for beauty gurus to talk about it, but I think because they're sort of invested in people buying stuff, they don't really discuss hacks like that.
Hashtag beauty on a budget.
Kind of my raison d'etre. So what I'm doing with my clean sponge now is just blending those contours. You don't want to look like you got lines on your face, so you want to blend everything out. without getting too far onto your cheek. You just want to blend it down the sides of your nose if you've nose contoured. Go down the nose bone. Some people, to make their lips look fuller, do a little under here, right underneath their lower lip. Give it a bit of a pooch. Do
That's
you have
fun.
any more questions?
Yes. That sponge, can you wash it out and reuse it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I will send you guys the link to this. What's cool is you've got this side, and if that side gets dirty, just flip it over.
Smart. And then AJ wants to know, I guess you guys live in the same area, what your local theater makeup store is.
Hollywood Lights. Oh my gosh, I actually knew that. I'm so happy. Yeah, and AJ is one of our PDX Dancing Witches, which is
Oh,
another group that I run in the area.
awesome, awesome.
So closing my contour palette. Does anybody have more questions before we go on to the next thing?
I think we're good. Caitlin and Alicia say they have potato faces. Oh, and then Alicia says that she loves or always wants to try the spray can when she sees it at Sephora. Um,
Spray can. The makeup or the setting spray?
the the one you were talking about, you saw the infomercials for the
Oh
makeup.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And
And
AJ and Alicia are saying thank you. So I think folks are feeling like they're getting the information they need.
okay. Another good thing, if you find you've done too much contour, too much bronzer, if you find your line is too harsh or you put it somewhere that you don't want it, you get your same sponge out that you were doing your foundation with and just dab. You don't want to drag, but you want to tap, and that will help any heavy-handedness, any whoopses, blend any lines. And then you get smoother edges. Next, we're going to go on to the eyes. I'm curious. I would love to know from our participants here. Do you do eyes or face first?
All right. While we wait for them to let us know if they do eyes or face first, you already know eyes is about the most I ever do. I legit haven't purchased foundation since I was 16, I don't think. AJ does face first.
Nice. I have always done the same. And what I'm doing right now is just taking that CoverGirl primer and putting a medium amount. You don't want a ton. You don't want a big gloopy mess. You just want to make it so it's nice and thin. Eye primer is good to help erase, especially if it's the colored stuff, to help remove any discoloration that your eyelids naturally have, the veininess, the purple, blue, and it also helps your makeup stick. YouTubers are going crazy, have been for like the last year, have been going crazy over the P. Louise base, but I am too poor to get that stuff, so I have not gotten it. It's like $30.
What's your beauty on a budget version?
My beauty on the budget version is this CoverGirl eye primer or the NYX Proof It, which will make any eyeshadow that you put over it waterproof.
Oh,
That's a big spoiler for next time we do this. Waterproofing eye primer. And you can use a brush. I use my fingers again so I can feel the texture and make sure it's gotten everywhere. I like this CoverGirl stuff because it makes your lids a little sticky, which is good for holding on your eyeshadow.
Kelly's kind of like me, lip gloss only. So very grateful for this information. Uh, and Erica, Amethyst, and Caitlin are all also face before eyes people. Ooh, I see colors.
Okay. So, gonna talk really quickly about stuff I'm using today, but also other recommendations. This is the Morphe Rainbow Palette. This came out last year for Pride, and proceeds go to the Matthew Shepard Fund.
Awesome.
Look at the colors.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. And there's another good palette from Morphe that is a great standard palette if you want kind of one and done kind of palette is the James Charles Artistry palette. They even just came out with minis now. I do have that palette, it's giant, but I had enough stuff out today and I figured you guys could just look it up if it was something that you were interested in. But we will be using the Morphe Rainbow palette today because it's got some great purples, it's got some great greens, it's got good transition colors and some good highlight colors. And yeah, it's just like who doesn't love a rainbow palette? So that's what we're using. Other things I wanted to make sure to recommend real quickly if you're a or a makeup artist on a budget. ColourPop is a wonderful option for makeup on a budget, especially right now. They have lately these little color themed palettes. I knew that I wanted blues. They came out with Blue Moon and all blues palette.
Mm-hmm.
This little thing is, I believe, 15 bucks. It's got shimmers, it's got mattes. I also know one of our participants said she does wants red and black. Well, the person after my own heart, that's my jam, so I got the red palette. I'm gonna find what angle so you can see here. There we go.
What's the name of the red palette?
The red palette is Main Squeeze, so it's like strawberry themed. They have a strawberry shake version. They have a mint green one. They have a bunch of small guys like this in different color stories with different themes.
Very cool.
They're
Amethyst
really
totally
affordable
has
and great
the
quality.
James Charles palette. And Jade is very excited to see the reds because Jade is getting a red tail soon. Loves black and red.
For years, I've been on a quest to get just a good red shadow. I'm a goth. You wouldn't know it most of the time to look at me, but super gothy girl, and I wanted to be able to bring that siren vibe into my makeup. Here's another one, me desperately trying to clean it off and just making it worse. NYX also has these little thing called hot pots, and that was like the first real red. I kept finding a lot of orangey reds, a lot of browns, a lot of terracotta, but dude, finding an actual full-on red shadow is really hard, which was one of my big sells about the James Charles palette. When he opened it up and I saw that there was a God's Honest red, I'm like, all right, that's it. Getting it. You sold me. Everything else I need plus red, we're good.
That's cool.
This is the My Little Pony set by ColourPop. They're also awesome. Not only are their shadows pigmented and beautiful and but affordable, they've got a Sailor Moon palette. They've got a Frozen palette, a Disney palette, and it's all licensed stuff from the original creators. So if you're got a certain fandom, they might have a palette for that.
Oh, that's fun. Caitlin wants
And
to
the
know if
other,
their strawberry shake palette is pink.
it looks like it. It looks like a nice combination from what I've seen online. That's another one of theirs I've been toying with getting. It's got reds and pinks in it. It's less just red and more like pink and red. This is another palette that I absolutely love. That's sort of a one and done for me. This is the Soap X Spice palette. She came out with one that was more neutrals. But this is, again, like everything you could possibly need, maybe except for blues. But this has a true red, this has a silver, and the colors are gorgeous.
And what brand is that again?
This is Revolution Beauty or Makeup Revolution. You can get this at Ulta or online at Ulta. It's a British company, and this is one of their collabs with a YouTuber, Sophie. This is her second palette, the Spice palette by
Okay.
Revolution Extra Spice. Soph
Extra.
X Extra Spice palette. So those are the ones that I wanted to really let folks know about. Now let's get into putting this on our eyes. We're gonna do like a really simple look because again, we don't want to be here for 4 hours. But do not make sure your brushes are clean, by the way, guys. I am really bad about cleaning my brushes, and I think a lot of people who do makeup frequently are because it's sure you got these little tiny brushes and it just takes forever. But a little Castile soap, I hear, is really good for it. There's a lot of brush cleaners. You can also use rubbing alcohol. I just found out a little rubbing alcohol in a mug and just swish your brush around, and apparently that's amazing. So that's my next try. I'll be doing that probably after I do this. Yeah. What should we make our base, you guys? You tell me. Shall we make purple our base in the crease, or shall we make it green?
Ooh. All right, purple and green. I
Choose.
don't know why green excites me. I guess because we've been talking all day about purple and gold. So now I'm like, ooh, green. Like, so to me, it's a novel color because I just wasn't anticipating you saying that. So we'll pause for a minute. Let us know. AJ says green. Let's get at least 4 in. Grace says green. All right, let's get 2 more votes. Kelly says green. All right.
Okay.
I
Sounds
guess
like it's gonna be green.
unless people
All
want to
right.
start typing purple really quickly. Oh, Cheryl says purple.
My initial thought was so there's this sort of light, beautiful purple right here in the palette. And my first thought when I was planning out this look was this on the crease and the outer eye, and then a dash of gold on the inner lid, and then the green on the lower lid.
Ooh. Jade has also chimed in with purple. Caitlin saying green. All right, so the greens have
All right,
definitely.
we'll do green. We'll do green, and then so y'all don't hurt me. All right. So we're gonna take a little of this bottom corner. It's kind of like a pea green. Just take a touch of it. And as you can see, I've barely touched this palette. So today we're gonna find out how pigmented these are. Exploring together. And I've got a somewhat fluffy flat brush. The bristles are dispersed pretty well.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. Perfect.
So he's kind of rounded and floofy on top, but he's also not a fully round brush. He's got that angle look. And I am going to very gently try to put this just above my crease, not in it. Just you can see where my eyelid has that crevice, that indentation. We're putting it right there on that indentation, but not so much on the lid.
Hmm.
The beauty gurus say, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they say that the further out you hold your brush, so the closer in you are, the more pressure and control you have, the more further back you hold your brush, the looser and less intense your color will be. I put it somewhere in the middle because I don't see very well. I like to be able to feel where my brush is going. I like to be able to have that little bit of control. And I'm just using baby windshield wiper motions, focusing the color toward the outside of my eye, the outer corner, right on that brow bone. Do you want me to bring you in closer? Hello.
Oh, that's great.
And then taking the brush sideways, so the bristles are going sideways into that crease, and just gently starting side of the crease and moving up just a little bit and blending out and getting really light pressure and building out. Like pea soup up in there.
What was that last thing
Mm,
you said?
that's like pea soup, that color.
Oh, it is like pea soup green. Yeah, I love pea soup. So this works for me. Now I'm
Ooh,
hungry.
split pea soup is my jam. That stuff is good.
Same.
Right. So we've got a little bit, and what we're doing is just blending that under the brow bone and focusing it outside on the outer V, so that most of your color is out here. And do the same thing on the other side.
While you're moving to the other side, Erica asked if you have any tricks for small eyes and lids. Should you use a smaller brush?
Definitely use a smaller brush. Definitely use ones um like, let's see if I can find a good example. Perfect example. So this guy, he's kind of
Can you bring it
on
more
the
towards
smaller side.
your opposite side? We didn't see him.
There we go.
That side. Yep.
So
Perfect.
see, he's kind of smallish. You might prefer to use this brush rather than this guy, this big old mamma jamma,
Oh yeah,
which
that's
he's good for blowing stuff out, but let's see, here we go. But he probably wouldn't work for you. You'd put him down once and just on your whole eye, and that's probably not what you're going for. Nikki Tutorials actually has really small eyes, so if you have smaller eyes, her stuff might be a good place to watch. She talks about tips and tricks for smaller eyes.
that's
Um,
Nikki tutorials.
Nikki Tutorials, Nikkie Tutorials, and she tends to put her shadows above the crease, and this is also good if you have hooded eyes as well. If you put your colors more above the crease instead of on it, it lifts the eye and makes the eye appear a little larger. And that way, when you open your eye, you still see the color.
Oh. Erica says thank you.
And I'm curious also in the comments, tell me, do you have a challenge side, a challenging eye, a challenging side? For me, putting anything on my right side is harder because the vision in my right eye is not as good. So, the eyebrows become sisters and not twins. The eyeshadow may be a little on, on the right side. What about you? Do you guys have a side that's easier or more difficult?
I'm left-handed, so for me, definitely my left side is easier. I did, do my full, eyeliner, mascara, and lip gloss for you all, and so I even caught myself, especially doing that right bottom lid. It was just like it's awkward for me. AJ says that their right side is more challenging. Grace uses eyeshadow crowns on her oily Asian eyes. Um,
Love that. So here's another question for those of you, regardless of what hand you use. Do you cross over? I see so many YouTubers when they go to their non-dominant side, just do it with that hand. I can't do that. I change hands and put the eyeshadow on that side.
huh. No, I totally cross over. I can't imagine. I don't have personally the dexterity or fine motor skills on my right hand to do makeup, especially since makeup's something that's like challenging for me anyway. I can't imagine doing that with my right hand. Like I know I've been joking that I'm in kindergarten with my makeup skills, but I think if I tried with my non-dominant hand, I would definitely look like I was in kindergarten. Caitlin is also struggles with the left side, probably because Caitlin's right-handed. Elizabeth is a lefty, so the right side is tough. And Amethyst finds the right side easier because that's the side where she can't see, so she can't see the utensils coming at her, which I get because I totally have been known to duck a brush sometimes. And it's like, what is this thing coming to my eyes? Um, Elizabeth with me, if Elizabeth changed hands, they would have toddler makeup. Yeah, Caitlin says the same thing. It would be a whole mess if it was a switch hand. So you are like makeup ambidextrous, and so we're all incredibly impressed right now. Erica uses just the right hand for eyeshadow, but switches hands for mascara. I definitely could not do that with mascara because mascara is the one where I duck and I'm like, there's a thing in my eye. So you're
I
asking great
love
Ylluria. Like,
Thank you. It's the little things that occur to me at night, 3 in the morning. I wonder how did they. All
and
right, so now.
I was just gonna thank everybody again for like commenting and keeping the conversation going because this would be a completely different live stream without all of you. So thank you for participating, not just watching but engaging. We're appreciative.
Yes.
AJ
Yeah.
crosses over as well.
See, to me, I don't know if it's because I'm a bigger girl and like my parts get in the way. I feel like I have to go, and then I'm all contorted and weird and I can't handle it.
Oh, you're giving me yoga class flashbacks.
So when you put on that bit of color, another great little technique is getting either a different brush if you want to blow out your color, if you want to blend a little more, or just going in with your color switch or your theater sponge and cleaning off that brush and blending the edges a little, blowing them out. I'm going to go in with a slightly darker green so that we don't stick to pea soup. Ooh, and okay, so I'm going to go with, there we go, this beautiful green right here.
Ooh.
Use that dark green. And we're not going to worry about cut creases or any of that stuff tonight. We're not going to deal with that. I'm using the exact same brush. I'm kind of notorious for just finding a brush I like for a certain look and just sticking with it. Keeping it sideways and dabbing it on the outer corner of the eye, right in that outer V. That's another question for you guys. I call it the outer corner, but one of my favorite YouTubers, Zabrina, not Sabrina, but Z with a Z, Zabrina, she calls it the outer V, and that always twitches me out. But I'm like, it's on its side. It's a, it's not a V. It's a drunken V. It's passed out. It needs to go home.
That's like the
I call
carrot
it.
bracket.
Yes, exactly. So what I'm doing now is just dabbing it on my eye and then blending it slightly in toward the inner half of the eye underneath that first bit of green so that we get a nice little gradient. And focusing it out on the outer corner like that.
Ooh.
That way you don't cover up the work that you just did with that green and it's not just one tone, it's a little more blended. And then you use windshield wiper motions from the outer to the inner corner in the socket. This is where we're going straight up in that socket and pressing with the brush sideways again in that socket and helping disperse that color a little bit. And windshield wiper motions. And then like kabam, we're done with that green.
Grace is cracking up saying the crossover is hard because of the boob factor, and it totally is.
It
I
kind of
struggled.
makes me.
Oh, it was just a completely irrelevant story. I said I struggled to learn how to play volleyball because of the boob factor and how my like 8th grade gym teacher wanted us to like have our hands positioned, and I'd be like, I can't put my hands that low. I have boobs, but I'm like, an adolescent kid, so I'm not comfortable being like my boobs are in the way. It was very stressful.
Aww.
Yes, yes, and memorable, obviously.
It's not completely irrelevant. Your stories are not irrelevant.
Well,
That was very relevant.
okay. AJ says things are looking really nice. He gives us a thumbs up.
So doing the same thing on the other side, just concentrating on that outer corner, putting it into the socket toward the top of the eye, under in the crease, right in the crease area. On this side, see, here's my trouble eye. It always gets more color right in the center there than I want it to. I've got Just starting to get a little older now, so I'm starting to get that crepiness. So
Mm.
there's one spot that likes to muddy and get more color on it than the rest. But it's all good. That's what we have concealer and blending for, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, we have a kitty friend.
Oh, well, yes. Hello, baby. This is Una. This is my little split apart. She's my little baby girl. She just turned 14.
Wow.
Um, she likes to be wherever I am, so she's probably been searching this whole time to find ways to get in and hang out with mom. We're just taking that green underneath that other green and getting in that crease. It doesn't matter too much if your lid is looking a little messy. That's okay. We're going to cover it up. Like I said, we're not doing a full on cut crease, but we have ways.
Folks are excited to meet Una.
I'll see if I can get her.
Look at those eyes.
She's holding on to that cover like, no, mom, what you doing? Oh, hello. She says, put me down, put me down. I just got comfortable, you barbarian. Feel a little silly sitting all here in front of my couch with a desk chair, but I tried to do this with my table in front of my couch, and it was like a little kid at the bank. I want $2 on the lollipop, please.
AJ
So,
says she's beautiful.
oh, thank you, my little gorgeous girl. I'm sorry, baby. Not you. All right. So this eye is, as usual, my problem child, but it's all good because we're about to make some shiny. So we've got some gold, and most people in makeup will tell you brushes are just fine um, for thinner colors, for shiny colors, but nothing beats the finger. The finger will disperse the most concentrated, awesome color on your lid. So we're gonna take our index finger, assuming they're clean, make sure your hands are clean. Using this,
Hands are cleaner than they've ever been with this coronavirus thing.
right? Gonna just swirl it around this upper pinky color. See how this guy works. Ah, the color payoff on that one is not too fabulous. I have an idea. Okay. This is a great example of when stuff doesn't quite work the way you want it to. This, I'm pressing hard, I'm digging in, I'm not getting a ton.
There you go.
Here. We can give it a try, but the color payoff is not superb. So let's make it even and mess up the other eye. That's a
Smart.
joke, by the way. There are no mess ups in makeup. We're just adding a little bit here to make sure that whatever colors we have the same base. Then we're gonna grab another palette. Let's check out that My Little Pony palette. There we go. So this purple,
Grace is psychic. Grace just typed in purple.
purple. We're gonna take a little of that purple. Oh yeah. Holy McMoly. Color pop to the rescue. And we're putting it on the center and inner corner of the lid toward the bridge of the nose, toward the inner corner of the eye, and smoothing it out. Now I have cat hair on my chin. Gee, I wonder why. I'm putting it right up to the top of the eyeball, butting up against the crease, but not over it. I don't want it to go up into that green. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of feeling like Ursula like with the purple and the green.
And Mardi Gras, right?
True. Oh my God, true.
Hi, B. B DeNova just joined us.
Hi, B. Thank you for coming, B. So we can do that to the other side. Find our purple. And again, this is from the My Little Pony palette. I don't know if it's still available, but I'm sure there's somewhere on eBay that you can snag it. Something else that everyone should keep in mind if you have makeup that's been around forever and ever on men, powder, eyeshadows, and stuff, it's like, unless it's obviously there's a weird smell or a strange texture or something, it's growing mold, whatever. But for the most part, powder, eyeshadow, powder blush, powder products don't go bad for quite some time. So you can keep your palettes for a good while and not be afraid of putting any funk on your face. Anything with liquid, creams, liquids, stuff like that, those things will go rancid, those things will go bad. And you want to be sure to throw them out when they start to smell funny, when they start to look strange, when they start to separate. Okay, so what are we thinking? We got the green and the purple.
Looking good. Grace says you have siren vibes.
Are you guys watching the third season of that show? I still haven't watched the second season.
It's good. Yeah.
Right. The last thing we're going to do real quick is take our gold. Let me speed this up a little bit. Looking for my gold. Looking for my gold.
AJ gave you fire emojis.
Woohoo! So we're taking that rainbow palette again, and we're going to hope that our gold is better. Got this guy here. Going to take a different phalange
I
and
love
hope
that.
it doesn't stink.
I just
Do
said I
you like the
love that
phalanges?
word. Phalange.
Not the greatest. Gold.
Caitlin saying shiny.
Exactly.
Caitlin has 14 shades of pink.
I'm finding that this guy does not have the Morphe Rainbow palette. The pressed glitters are not super amazing. Like, they look really pretty in the pan, but so far they don't come off very well. Like, maybe because they're so hard pressed, they don't actually come off
Ooh,
out
I
of
have
the
a
pan very
question.
well. Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes when I've had that problem, I've like wet a shadow, so I feel like I get more of it and it comes on more densely. Is that a thing?
That is definitely a thing. You can absolutely use setting spray or a
Okay.
dab of water to wet your phalange. We will give that a try. I usually try to do water in that case, or I'll be really old school and just lick my finger. But you know, especially if you're doing somebody else's makeup, you don't want to do that. But if it's just, why the heck not? Eh, not great. But we've got a hint of it, and I think that's going to be good for on top of that purple anyway. So let's go to the brow bone real quick and finish off our eyes expediently. I've got this little thing that I have had forever and ever. Amen. I don't even know what brand it is, but it's a roll-on eyeshadow.
Hmm.
I've literally been using it for the 6 years that I've moved out here, and it still freaking works.
Awesome.
So, and it's the reason why I use it all the time is because it is the most convenient brow bone highlight. You take that just under your eyebrow, right there on your brow bone, and then you can take your finger or a brush. I just use my finger because it's quick and easy, and blend that booty out. Meld it with eyeshadow, and there you go.
Huh.
You might also make it my inner corner highlight. Highlighting your inner corner helps your eyes stand out and be a little brighter. So you put it right. You can put as much or as little. If you use a pencil brush, you get a more precise application. But I have really deep set inner corners, so I tend to highlight that whole little area. Just to break, open up the eye. Do you see the difference between where I've done it and where I haven't?
Yeah, B says, oh, wow. Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
pretty dramatic difference. And it
Mhm.
looked like a really subtle thing, but looking at it eye to eye, it is wow. B is also wondering, no, AJ was wondering who makes the best glitter eyeshadows.
I am on the hunt. So I have always used the last 5 years now a company called North Star Glitters. And I met them at a Mythic Worlds convention where they had a booth. And I said, hey, I'm a mermaid performer. I have a YouTube channel. I would love to try out your stuff. And they sponsored me. They sent me a palette with a bunch of pressed shadows. I mean, a bunch of pressed glitters. They're waterproof and they're gorgeous. But the business unfortunately went out of business and I've just run out of their stuff.
Oh,
So
that's tragic.
tell us in the comments if you know a good pressed glitter, especially if it's waterproof.
Yeah, well, hopefully somebody knows something. Grace is expecting a fun TikTok later from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Elizabeth says this reminds her of working with colored pencils going from darkest to lightest. And,
Yes, definitely.
and B says the smoky look is like the siren vibe, right? And I think that's what we're getting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
speaking of Siren, Erica watched the first season and needs to get Hulu again to finish it. Um,
right
so I
about
really enjoy
Hulu. I don't have cable, so I forgot that it's also on Hulu.
It's only on
Yay.
Hulu, right? No, it's on FX. Pop? No, what? I don't know. Freeform.
Fun.
It's on Freeform. Yeah, and on Hulu. Yeah.
All right. So I have an actual, now I don't have it in gold because normally I don't rock the gold thing, but I do have, this is the glitter I usually use. And they have big old cans of it, but look, I've been using it for years, so that's my what's left of my pan.
Ooh,
Let
AJ
me
says iconic British company has nice sparkly shadows.
Oh, Iconic London?
I think so.
Nice. Nice. A lot of companies do, and I have others, like there's a bunch of palettes in my bathroom where I store all my makeup that I have a bunch of gold, but I will take a picture for you guys of my setup right now, and I'm literally trapped at my makeup table. Otherwise, I would just go get a gold. But we can't really do that right now. Oh, but I get to show you another tip. So I just remembered. So this is an Ofra highlighter. I got this in one of my box things, not BoxyCharm. I think it was like from a Glamour magazine box. But if you need a color and you're not finding it, matter if it's not an eyeshadow or if it's not a blush. I'm about to use highlighter, that sort of golden color and mix it with the pinky color. And oh look, we needed a gold.
Oh, wow, that's gold.
And it's mega gold. So yeah, we've got kind of a Mardi Gras vibe, gold and purple. It's maybe more gold than I wanted actually. But guess what? In makeup, there are no mistakes. You just roll with it. I discovered, I don't know about anybody else, those of you guys who do art, I have always drawn with ballpoint pen. So you draw a line that's not right, you turn it into something else. And I find that that might have helped me when it comes to makeup. If you make a mistake, you roll with it, do something else. Have you guys found that to be true?
That's my MO for life in general. Um, Somebody said that, yeah, Elizabeth said that the way you put the makeup on going from darkest to lightest reminds them of working with colored pencils. I don't know if I read that out before, but when you said art, it made me think of that. AJ's like, facts. Yeah, just roll with it.
Yep. So now that was two gold from what I was looking for. So I just add a little bit of the white highlighter in the center of my eye, or the corner of my eye, to sort of bring that lightness back. Much better. And then you blend. You want to make sure. I don't know, like my right crease, again, it's that problem eye. He likes muddy. With my little flangy, fix it. And there we go. Let's move on to eyeliner before it gets too late, and then we can do lips and then be done.
Okay.
Does anybody have questions about blush or brows or anything that we haven't touched on?
I always end up using my lip product as my blush. So I felt a little validated when you used the bronzer as an eyeshadow. Um, but I don't have a specific question.
I guess it must be the gothy background. Like I don't tend to be a blush girl. Same with bronzer. Like I had to force myself to even start trying it. I'm like, I want to be pale and death looking. Why do I want to be rosy? And but I have found that I actually really enjoy it. Especially if you guys seen the blush across the nose. That look, especially it's a lot on TikTok. They do like the line of blush over the cheeks and a little dab across the nose. It is so cute.
Aw.
So cute. Okay, so for eyeliner, how do you guys draw your liner? I start at the middle against the eyelash base and move to the edge. Then I gently flick out.
Oh.
And then I start to move in from there if I want to, if I want a little further. I have never been one to go all the way in to the corner of the eye unless I'm doing like the full goth cat eye thing. Because that I feel closes off your eye.
Huh.
And I will give you a blessing that a lot of us belly dancers joke about. May the wings of your eyeliner always be even.
Sisters, not twins.
Right.
Kelly wants to know what kind of eyeliner that is.
This is the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner. I freaking love it. It's waterproof. It's got a nice fine tip. Time for the YouTuber technique again. It is awesome. Other good ones, Rimmel is another good one for a drugstore. One that I would love to get that I'm too poor to try. I just can't justify paying, $20 and $40 for one makeup item when I know I can get other stuff, like two or three for less than 20. Um, Kat Von D's tattoo eyeliner is supposed to be freaking amazing. Then I take the lower lash line, and again, from the center to the corner. And if you have trouble with doing a cat eye, if winging is really difficult for you, and I hear that's really common for a lot of people, you can bring your eyeliner from the top down to the corner and then take your lower eyeliner, bring it to the corner of the eye, and continue that line just a little bit as you go down. I mean, as you come from the bottom, go up, and then make your wing that way. So down and up that way. And then you take your liner and just fill it in.
Huh.
I'm doing a big dramatic wing since I've got, very light colors on the eyes, so I'm making a banger wing. And I don't close my eye all the way. I also don't open it all the way. I want to see how that line looks when your eye is down as much as it is open. That's the one I done. Some people do the waterline, and I have tried that before. I tend to use one of the smudgy pencils if I'm going to get way into my eye with the waterline. Another thing you can do if you want is tight line is what they call when you go underneath your lashes in
Mm.
toward the eyeball, the underside of your lashes, and do your liner there.
Now, when you say waterline, what do you mean?
The waterline is thank you. I take for granted that a lot of people know that, and it took me forever to figure that out. The waterline is, I hope nobody's grossed out by eyeballs, but you got your eyeball, that bit of skin right before your lashes.
Ah,
That thing right there.
got it.
And a lot of people put liner there. I don't tend to because as a person with a visual impairment, I don't like getting the brush that like I could literally just put it on my eyeball. I'm not comfortable with that. But a lot of people do, and it looks amazeballs. Also, if you have trouble with eyeliner, practice on just a piece of paper with a pencil or a pen, gently doing a single stroke. You can just break it up and do it gradually in little bits. But if you practice putting a line and gliding it along your eye slowly, it helps get the best effect. You guys see okay?
Yes, we can see very well.
And I'll do what I told you about on the bottom here. So I'm gonna go, I haven't got a wing yet. I'm gonna take a line and come up. There's my little wingy thing. I moved my finger. My right eye is my troubled eye, so I will try my best to connect that edge, but that is really hard for me to see. Something else with eyeliner, if you feel it looks good, might not be desperate, you're like, okay, I can live with that, stop. Because the more you futz with it, it's just like any art, you're just going to keep bigger wing and bigger wing. That's how you end up with raccoon eyes.
That's how I am with cooking. I'm like, this is the point at which I need to stop. It's not quite where I want it to be, but if I add one more seasoning, we're going to end up
Right?
not happy. Erica's with
And
you on the waterline, says it just ends up in their eye. B's impressed by the eyeliner that looks like markers. And Erica is a fan of whatever's on sale, but also likes Tardius. It has a gel pencil and liquid liner. Erica is a
oh,
great,
I like Tarte. Yeah.
yeah.
Tarte is for those who are not familiar, Tarte is a high-end makeup brand. They've got some good stuff. And I just whoopsed. I don't know if you guys can tell. I messed with it and I made a mistake. So I'm gonna even out that edge, just round out that little bit where I messed myself up. Even with the whoops, you're trying to stay as close as you can to your lash line, like unless you want the big 60s. You know, the more you mess with it, the more dramatic the line looks. And I found something I'm curious about you guys. My worst eye, I see out of it worse, but my right hand is so adept at eyeliner. Like I'm almost better at eyeliner with my offhand than
Hmm.
I am with my good hand.
I'm thinking you're unique with that one. Most of us said we cannot cross over or have to cross over, cannot switch hands. So I literally can't imagine switching hands with something as like delicate as eyeliner. Honestly, watching you switch hands might be the most amazing part of this whole process.
I will also recommend if you do glitter, if you do anything super textured like that on your eyes, um, do that after your eyeliner if you're going to do something really chunky because most eyeliners have a really hard time going over maybe texture or it'll look all jugga 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 and it'll be really hard to get a nice smooth line. You were done with your eyeliner.
So AJ asked a while ago what kind of brows, I think it was AJ, what kind of brows mermaids have.
I'm curious. What about you, Shay? What do you feel about that?
I've never really thought about it, honestly. I mean, personally, my brows kind of thin out towards the edges. So, like, again, not big on makeup. And so I've just been trying to make sure to just fill my brows out so that I don't lose them in photo and video. Um, but as for shape, I kind of just like to go with like my natural shape. It's weird. I know brows have become like a really serious thing in the past couple of years, but um, I live under a rock deep in the ocean, so I just kind of miss things. Um, so yeah. Uh,
I
B
agree.
has a funny. I don't know if I can see the whole thing. It got truncated, but has a funny story about putting black eyeshadow on for the first time. Unfortunately, I can't see. Let me see if I can look up the whole comment. Um, Erica's suggesting that we start a crossover hand challenge. That it might be a fun disaster.
Ooh, I like that.
It would be comical.
AJ, you reminded me. So last night I was tweezing my eyebrows for this because I realized that my right eye was looking like freaking Wookie, like Sasquatch on that right side. It's weird, not the left one. Just it had brows like way down to my eye. It was very weird. So yeah, I fell asleep doing my brows with my cat on my chest, and I never do brows. I like what Shay said because I very rarely even touch my brows when it comes to makeup. So I'm glad that you brought that up because it's not something I usually think about even.
Hmm.
I overtease just a hair, so like you, I'm just gonna fill mine out just a bit. I don't tend to do the super shaped square Instagram brow, and as I don't know if you can see, but I don't even go all the way toward the inner side because I don't want that big um, harsh line.
Talk to us about the kind of like, so you're doing like a short little feathered stroke.
Very short little feathered strokes going up and to the outside. So diagonal feathered strokes starting inward and going up and out along with the hair. And it helps for me, I don't know about anybody else, but to look up so that
Hmm.
you can see the direction of your brows. And I feel like I need to trim the tails of my brows, but then I find that when I do, they're gone. Like I make them a little shorter and then they look like I've got the Doberman brow where there's just nothing.
Mm.
So if I let the ends be a little wispy. Thank you for mentioning brows again, because boy, I wouldn't have done anything. Forgot that I needed to. But the technique for most of these things, this is the Wonder Brow, I think, from Benefit that I got as a freebie for shopping at Ulta. And I hardly ever use, so I'm tickled that we're doing that today. You draw it with your pencil and fill in wherever you need to. And then it's got a little thing on the end called a spoolie. This right here. And then you just brush it through your brows so it's a little less drawn on and a little more natural looking. And
Neat.
that is the color.
Tree says they're really enjoying this, and AJ thanks us both.
Yay! Oh, thank you guys both. Like Shay has said before, thank you guys for like commenting and being here and everything. This is amazeballs. All right, so let's go to mascara before it gets too late so that we can go on. Whose favorite thing? Who else loves highlighter? I am such a highlighter bunny. You guys?
Ooh.
Highlighter fans? That's my jam. For those of us who are visually impaired for mascara, I don't know about anybody else, but I've heard this tip and I've found it to be true. Mini wands, the mini sample size mascaras are great because the long wands are hard to, if you have it like a mirror that you need close, or if you want to feel that level of control, like I was talking about with the makeup brushes, you don't have a great big wand to get in the way or to worry about. So if you use a travel size mascara, it's a right thing. Also,
Caitlin loves highlighter, but always looks like a glow stick. So
oh, dig it.
maybe you'll have some suggestions for that. And Grace is loving our energy.
Caitlin was the person with the highlighter comment?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Caitlin, you know what? If I don't know if you're a mermaid or not, but I always like to say I don't have to look natural. I'm a mermaid. I'm super natural.
Oh, I love that.
So my technique with my mascara, for anybody who's new to it, who doesn't use it very often, first I do the tops of my lashes because if you've been using powder and eyeshadow and blah blah blah, there's a good chance that you probably got some eyeshadow on the tops of your lashes. And if you look down, somebody's gonna see that. So I think I got that from Mikey from Glam and Gore. She always does the tops of her lashes first. And then I take my mascara and rub it around the root. So just jiggle it back and forth at the very root and then bring it up and out so that it coats the very roots and doesn't weigh down the lash itself. You still got that nice thick look, but it isn't all on the end. I also don't tend to put a ton of mascara on the inner corners or the lower corner. How are you guys for lashes? Like, I've got pretty decent lashes. So when I put a ton of mascara on, I can see it up top, and that distracts me. What about for you guys?
When I wear falsies, I can see it, and that's distracting. And I wear glasses, so it's just comical at that point.
Oh, you
Caitlin,
get the windshield wiper effect.
yes. Caitlin is a mermaid and did a video with you.
Oh, that Caitlin! Hi!
I was about to say, Yl'luria's not reading the comments and can't see people's like profile pictures, so I'm just translating. I think AJ also can see their lashes when they have a lot of mascara on. Erica's are curled but not long.
Ooh, we've got curly lashes in the house. I love that.
Oh, AJ gets the windshield wiper with the falsies too.
Same. I get the windshield wiper with straight up glasses with no. I don't tend to do falsies very often. I'm bad at it. I really want to try those magnetic ones. Have you guys seen them with even the magnetic eyeliner?
I haven't seen magnetic eyeliner. I've seen the magnetic lashes. I know those are decidedly not waterproof. I've heard lots of people like are always asking in the mermaid forums. Um, and then somebody's always like, yeah, no, not waterproof. Caitlin
Really?
forgets to put on mascara. That's me. I'll be like, I did it all. And it's like, what are you missing? Oops. And Eric is also trying to get the hang of falsies. Would love to throw on lashes, chapstick, and be done. Yeah, falsies are so dramatic. Like the people who get the like long term ones. Ah, Erica has the magnetic ones. People get the long term ones. Like, yeah, I mean, even if you don't do anything, you've just got like a look because you've got like those nice full lashes.
Hmm. Okay, so here's a challenge for all of you guys. Show me your lash face, your mascara face. Take a selfie. You can be completely made up or have no makeup at all, but in the comments at our Facebook event page, show us the face you make when you put on your mascara. I was just making it, and I realized how stupid I probably look. I stick my tongue out. Do you guys stick your tongue
I look like I'm giving a BJ.
out? That's hysterical. Show us your mascara faces. That tongue has got to be out. Like I try to hold it in, and it's still trying to come out.
B says the mascara totally gave you a falsy look.
Thank you. I like it. This is the It Cosmetics. Oh, let me make sure I give you the right name. I have the full size version, so I may have to go get that. This is the Superhero Mascara by It Cosmetics.
Oos.
This
Oh, Grace is right. I shouldn't have made you laugh while you were doing mascara. I'm so sorry.
it's
Um,
all good.
AJ is with me and either does an O face or a BJ face. And Kelly says, fortunately, the mirror hides your sticking the tongue out from us. So,
Score. One tip that this has reminded me of, if you are making a mistake with your eyeliner or your mascara or whatever, and you have a whoops, don't scratch it off while it's still wet. Let it dry, and then you can take your fingernail or something and just scrape it right away. If you try to attack it when it's wet, you'll get the big streak that messes everything up. I'm trying to see if I have it in here with me. There is a little tool that CoverGirl makes, and I wanted to try to have it here for you guys today. Did I bring it? Did I bring it? Did I bring it? I might not have brought it. So there's this little thing that it looks like it's got styptic sticks. Do you guys know what styptic? It's even hard to say. Styptic sticks?
that's what like stops you from bleeding, right?
Here. Yes, exactly. I found it. I had it upside down, so I didn't spot it. So this guy, oh, that I'm gonna drop. Um, this is the Master Fixer. And if you look at it here, it's got these little sticks right here. You pop this off, pull one of these bad boys out, and you fix any eyeliner whoopses, and it erases your whoopses.
Ooh.
And the cool thing is, it's not like, you know, concealer or whatever that you have to fix the whole area. It will literally just go right there, and you're good. Here's the end that I've used. You can see it actually does it. It takes just, it must have just a dash of makeup remover in these little wipes that they've shaped to look like a pen. That way, if you mess up your eyeliner or you get a mascara flub, you're golden. All right, we've got our mascara. We've got, we'll do a pair of blush. How do you guys put your blush on before your highlighter or after your highlighter?
Folks chime in about before or after. B is sitting here like, ooh, smart with the master fixer. Yeah, that was really cool. This is such an amazing transformation you're making. This is so cool.
You know, I was gonna have a pretty lavender sweater on to match the makeup, but it's hot in here with all these lights. I've got the fan going. I don't know if y'all can tell, but so I was like, t-shirt.
Caitlin says before. Amethyst says after. So we've got one before and one after.
Nice, nice. Before I always do my blush before my highlighter. Same with bronzer and all that stuff. Highlighter is last because I can go over anything. If I overdid blush or bronzer, the highlighter can help fix that. If I do it the other way, I risk hiding the highlighter. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
I wanted to show you guys these before we go. These I got from a company called Unicorn Lashes. How amazing are these?
I just saw those on Instagram yesterday. They're gorgeous.
These are insane. I did a whole review on them a year ago when I got them. And at the very end of the video, I put on my lipstick and I finished the video talking. Did not realize until I was editing the video that there's a dab of lipstick like on my chin for the rest of the video. And I can't figure out how to edit it out. So I haven't put the video up. They're amazing. And they're actually, if you guys ever want to go get them, they're wibbly.
Ooh.
And they've got all different mermaid tails. So for all of our mermaid fans out there, even if you just set them on the cabinet, they're pretty rad. So we've got our little guy here, our blush brush. Some people would also use this for bronzer. It's pretty well packed. I'm gonna try to find a more blown out brush real quick. That's too big. So for me, like this one would be a good bronzer brush because he's rounded and domed and kind of densely packed, but he's not super intense. This guy, texture-wise, might be good for a blush brush, except he's way too huge. Like I have blush over half of my face. So let's find the brush that we need. You want something with loose bristles so it disperses and you don't end up with a big red spot. Is that the brush we're looking for? That's pretty well the same. You also don't want super giant or super tiny because again, you're going to just a red streak across your face. And all of these mermaid brushes, by the way, I got some of these at Rose Gal. I got 2 sets, one that was just face, one set that was eyeshadow. And then, of course, a friend of mine not long after that gave me a similar set. So I feel like I have all the mermaid brushes a fish could need. I've just been telling my friends I wish that they could like shop my collection and just give them away, give them things. Here, what do you want? All right, so let's take a chance and use this little guy for our blush real quick. I'm going to swish him around in the brush cleaner sponge. And another good indication that he's going to be good for blush is that his bristles are really bendy.
Hmm.
They're really stiff. Again, that will apply makeup pretty firmly. Another trick for makeup is, find here. So I got these brushes from BoxyCharm not long ago, and they're super cute. They look like little crayon brushes, but the bristles are really stiff. And I'm probably, unless I want to blend something away, I'm probably not going to use them. But I keep them in a toothbrush holder. You
Ooh.
guys don't have to have fancy stuff to hold your makeup stuff. You can repurpose all kinds of things. So let's get our blush real quick, like from our Cover FX palette. I like this really crazy rosy color. I figure if I'm going to wear blush, I'm going to wear blush. And I outsides of my cheeks and just a hair on the apple. I don't tend to do it like right on the apple of the cheeks. I tend to help it contour my face. And just a hair, maybe a little on my nose. I want to look like I've been drinking. How are you guys doing in your own processes? Those of you who are following along.
Yeah, how is everybody doing? Let us know. AJ says highlight after blush, then blend it. Is that the order?
That's the way I tend to do it.
Okay.
That easy. Just blush again on the outer sides unless you have, here's a good example. If you have a really round face, if you have really full cheeks and you want to kind of tone those back, you can get a little more blushy toward the center and back. That
Hmm.
way you're a little less fuller faced. Now for highlighter, my favorite thing. So I have this palette. It has all different colors, and one of mine broke, and it broke in my purse, so it was everywhere, which means it's unsalvageable. Let's see how. There we go. There we go. So you can get highlighters in all kinds of colors, and like we just talked about, it doesn't matter if it's not a natural color. I'm a freaking mermaid. So today, let's choose. Shall we go with green highlighter or pinky purple? Mm.
I feel like after saying I'm a mermaid, it feels like green is the way to go. But let's see what
Yeah.
everybody else says. Caitlin has made a big old mess of her desk with all the makeup. Bee's doing good. Bee's been home all day. Um, and yeah, as you guys finish your looks, we totally want to see them. So either post them. Cheryl says purple. Cheryl's been on Team Purple the whole time. Uh, Grace says green. Cheryl sending us all the purple hearts. Caitlin says purple. I believe you've already picked, have you?
Yes, I did. But you know what? Again, you can double up. You can, if you're doing scales, you can do a darker color to a transition to a lighter color. I just chose green just off the top of my head to kind of go with the color in my crease. Something else when it comes to highlighter, I tend to use my fingers so I can put it exactly where I want it. But there are a lot of great highlighter brushes out there. You want something kind of small and precise because again, you don't want to like look sweaty, have highlighter everywhere. I have a spot on my in my bone structure. Let's see if I can show you here. Oh, this is perfect. So when I put my highlighter on, I put it toward the back and on the tops of the cheeks. When you think of highlight, you think of light falling down and where you want to highlight your face. So I put it on the tops of my cheekbones, and I've always had this weird spot where my cheekbone, or there's like a fatty deposit here and the cheekbone here, which causes like a little gap right here. So I put a little extra highlight right there to sort of even out that little pooch. And I think Shay has noticed I'm kind of a highlighter junkie. I've someone even Cookie. Do you guys know Cookie Ramirez?
Oh,
Um, the Harlem Mermaid.
yeah.
An adorable avatar of me with one of those Doll Divine mermaid creators, and it
Hmm.
had the white streaks on the cheeks highlighter. So clearly, my highlighter game precedes me. I love the shine. I love all of that pretty. So I am happy to glow. For you mermaids out there, I also tend to blend my highlighter into my brow bone highlight, as you see me doing. It helps blend your makeup together in general. Especially if you've got like a colored look, if you have like a purple or green or whatever, or if you need further blending, it helps. If you've gone too dark, you can put a little dash of that highlighter on that outer side to help blend. Bring it in a little bit, tone it down. Okay, you guys, are we ready for setting spray everywhere? You guys ready?
Setting spray. Everybody's making me hungry. AJ's eating Boston cream cake and almond milk.
And you
Um,
didn't share?
Erica's going to do this tomorrow and post the results for us. And
Oh, please see pictures, you guys.
yes, and Cheryl and Jade are going to post photos later. They're making cupcakes and watching. You guys can post food pictures too. Um, I like to see cupcakes and all cakes, all cakes. I want to see your cakes. Yes.
Show us your cakes.
Jade wishes that they could share the cupcakes with everyone. And whatever you mean by cakes. Oh, thank you, AJ. AJ posted pics, well, emojis of cake and milk. We appreciate it. Yes. I call my sexy bits my cakes and pies. So you can share those with us too. We like to see it. We like to celebrate juicy fishes. Um, and AJ also sent us a cupcake emoji. Setting spray. Oh my gosh, that should be a slow-mo gif.
Yeah, Nikki Tutorials does this like glamorous, oh, bathe in it. You can use a lot, you can use a little.
B loves your makeup. And you look super glam doing that. Like, yeah, like whatever the like female version of Fabio is. Oh, and then you're gonna just do it with like a lace fan. Oh my gosh, like
Okay, so here's your final trick as far as all of this makeup stuff goes. Setting spray works best when you when you fan it cool. The alcohol in it dissolves and helps sets your makeup. So if you fan your setting spray, you have a much better chance of helping that makeup stay. And that's underwater on the land. If you're going out to a party and you're dancing, honey, setting spray is your best friend.
Jade thinks you should be a Torrid model because you're so gorgeous, or like a Society of Fat Mermaids model because we got you.
Amazing. Either would be incredible.
Speaking of, I'm gonna post a little discount code while you're spraying.
Also, you want to keep your face kind of still when you do setting spray. It's the same theory with powder. Setting spray is like powder, it's there to set everything down. So if you've got a bunch of expression happening while your setting spray is drying, you're setting those wrinkles, those lines, wrinkle or no, like if you're smiling, you're gonna have smile lines into your makeup. And one last trick, you can take your sponge, your handy dandy makeup sponge, make sure that it's, not full of dark stuff. Like if you've been using brown eyeshadow, use the butt instead of that one side. And carefully press your setting spray into your skin. It helps your makeup meld into your skin better. Setting spray in helps get rid of any cakiness you might have from the powder and all the stuff. Helps de-emphasize any wrinkles. Like for me, I'm starting to get the 11sies, and I've noticed my concealer and my foundation can get creasy right there. So that helps me press those away. Push your setting spray into your skin to really seal the deal.
Erica wants to know which setting spray.
Ooh, okay. So again, budget girl, I cannot recommend big fancy ones to you. I hear a lot of good things about the Morphe spray. I hear a lot of people like the Huda Beauty spray. Um, my favorites as far as drugstore stuff goes are the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. This stuff. There we go. Label. I also, my first love when it came to setting spray has been and will probably always be the Milani, Milani, prep, prime prep set spray. And you want well, for me anyway, I like the make it last setting spray. That has helped my makeup underwater, last all day at festivals. It's amazeballs. This stuff is also great. This is, I think, like $6 or $7 at Walgreens. You can also find it at Ulta. Same with Milani, Walgreens, Ulta. The other spray that I really like, L'Oreal has a good one. Setting sprays are usually pretty, I wouldn't say universal, but they're pretty popular that a lot of brands have a good one. Rimmel I like, CoverGirl I like, but both of them are wicked sticky. So they last well, but they make your face feel like you're holding on. And Urban Decay has a great one. It is incredibly expensive at $32 a bottle. So I do not have any to show you, but I bought a sample size one day when I was treating myself, and that stuff is the bomb. So, not your setting spray. I think that's what's that called. And last but not least, before we finish our very final look, after setting spray, by the way, some people put highlighter on after their setting spray is dry to really make it pop. If you want like super blingy highlighter, that's a way you can get that done. Oh, sorry, I got cat hair on my nose. I feel like whenever I said spray setting spray, I have cat hairs just tickling everywhere. I'm gonna go for a relatively light lip, which is something new to me. You guys do dark or light lips? Do you like the natural, more even lip, or do you like a dark, vampy look?
Total vamp over here, but that's no surprise. Alicia definitely wants recommendations on long lasting lipstick. She asked a while back, and I was like, I'm going to ask when we get to lips. And here we are.
This stuff, what I'm using is pretty much my all-time favorite. This is another Milani product. This is the Milani, can I remember? A more matte lipstick. Matte lipstick. Let's see. There we go.
It's a more matte.
AMORE lipstick. Another thing I really love is the Maybelline 24-hour Superstay, which is a foundation, by the way. If you want stay put foundation, that stuff is great. I don't know about y'all, but for me, especially as a mermaid who goes to like festivals and stuff, and I'm out in the day all day long, and a porta potty, you can't go touch up in a bathroom because you're in a porta potty. Or you're at a festival all day and you don't have a chance to eat because your fish butt is out at your booth all day long. I like matte lipsticks or lipsticks in general that are like almost ironclad. That's practically a tattoo. What about y'all?
Yeah, I definitely like long lasting, don't move lipstick because it's just too much going on. So Jade is a dark lipstick person. Caitlin likes dark and weird colors, but they always fade. Erica likes light, but dark and bright look best on her. And Jade loves your necklace. BT dubs.
Thank you,
AJ
Jade.
also likes a long lasting lipstick.
I have found over the years that liquid lipsticks are just better for that.
Hmm.
Bullet lipsticks I don't tend to use because in general they tend to move a lot on me. And I have never enjoyed having lips the same color as the rest of my face, so I am definitely a darker lipstick vampy fan.
Hmm.
Mm,
Erica says the lipstick really brings it all together.
oh, thank you, thank you. And that's another thing that I really like about Milani is that they have a lot of great colors. Another brand, if you like crazy lipsticks that stay, and they have a great range of colors, are Wet and Wild, believe it or not. You get a
Really?
gorgeous lippy that stays put for like $4.50. And they have black and blood red and blue and purple and green and orange. It's great.
Nice. B says, really? You're in festivals all day?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I used to with my old pod. I don't know if that's going to be happening in the future, but with my last, where I got my mermaiding beginning for the last 6 years, was I would go to events called fairy worlds and pirate festivals, and we'd set up sometimes at 7 in the morning to have the booth ready at 10 and then be in front of people all day long until the thing closed and then you tear down. So yeah, definitely festival wear is important.
Kelly asked if squeezing your lips makes the lipstick go on better.
It depends on what you're using. Some lippies um, will actually reduce the color, so you get to play around a little bit. Others, it's good to let dry. So me, I like to press my lips together because that makes me sure that I've gotten in all the nooks and crannies, and then do another coat. One final little thing that we'll pass on here. So to make your lips look a little fuller, get the corner of my lip here. So to make your lips look a little fuller, you guys know ombre, yeah? The term?
Go ahead and define it just in case.
It's a new term for something very old and familiar to most folks. Ombre means a gradient, a gradation, a fade of one color to another or from dark to light, light to dark. It's just a gradual fade from one thing to another, like we do with our eyeshadow. So technically, that dark green fading into another is an ombre. And ombre lips are very popular. So you can take a lighter color to make your lips look a little fuller in the center. And it can be super subtle, like this, or it can be super, super obvious. Let me get a lighter color so it's easier for you guys to see. Ah, perfect. Okay. So here's another example of repurposing. This is technically a liquid eyeshadow. This is not supposed to go on your lips, but you know what? We're going to put it there anyway. So this is the Eyetastic. I think it's from Lottie London. It's supposed to be liquid eyeshadow, but we're going to put it on our lips. Right? If you see me a lot with like a golden pinky shimmer on my lip, that's this stuff. I use it all the time on my lips. Sometimes I'll do a straight line to look like a tribal, to like the warrior kind of look, and it won't work, or I'll mess it up and I'll and blend it. So again, rolling with what you got. But today, just dab a little on and pat your lips together. You don't want to jam it and rub it. You want to pat. If you jam and rub, you will disturb your lipstick and bring it up. Go right, go left. If you have a fine lower lip like I do, my lower lip is fuller than my upper lip. You can take a little on your upper lip and dab it with your finger. Make sure you get to the edges. And you just put a little on the center. You don't want it going all the way out to the edges of the sides. You want it to be more toward the center of your mouth, up and down.
B says, "Oh wow, I see what you did. Yeah, that is really really cool."
For me also, this is a trick I use because I like the lipstick to stay. I don't tend to use lip gloss. Lip gloss, the second you put it on, 99.99% of the time starts to eat into your lipstick and it smears it all around. It looks amazing. Like lip glosses are fabulous. But for me, I feel like I put it on and 5 minutes later I'm wearing it everywhere. Does anybody else experience that?
I kind of know what you mean.
So I tend to use substitutes, and this is a great example. You can use eye pencils. When I first started out mermaiding and they didn't make blue lipstick, my bestie and I both used blue liner pencils on our mouths to get the blue lipstick we wanted. So, repurpose. And feel free to blend with your finger bones. That's it, you guys. That's our finished look.
That is awesome. AJ says, cool contrast. Thank you so much. I'm
Thank
going
you.
to join you on screen. I'm going to try to join you on screen. Let's see.
Please.
Hi, it's me. Um,
Do you guys,
Erica.
do you guys know about jewels? Did you want to hear a final tip about face jewels and decorating that kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Um, so a lot of us do scales in our makeup. Scales are really freaking easy. A lot of tutorials are online available. Um, you just use a wig cap, put it over your face, and dab scales all over the place. When you use your scale, do your scales, you want to go straight up and down. If you brush like this, you're going to smear the net, make the net move, and that destroys your scales. So you take a brush and what's called a stippling effect and go up and down instead of across. And that helps you with scales. If you want it sparklies on your face, whether it's here, cheeks, whatever, there are lots of pretty designs all over the place. You can hit your local Joann's up or your local craft store. And the other one here. In your stationery department, there are all kinds of jewels.
Hmm.
They have all kinds of pretty patterns and swirls. And they're already sticky. So you can either take them in whole or in part and stick them to your face. I tend not to trust the adhesive on the jewels themselves. I put a little spirit gum, little theatrical makeup where I need them to be, and then slap them on. So that's if you want to go 3D and put some sparkles. Shay, I've seen you do that with the sparkle headpieces. And that's what reminded me. I was like, oh, she does sparkles.
I do sparkles because I struggle with all the rest of the stuff, but I can put some stickers on my face that I can handle. So that's
And
why I
it
do
looks
sparkles.
amazing.
I made a fake commercial once where I was like, just add rhinestones to cover your under eye bags.
Heck yeah, dude. And for anybody who deals with those, like me, freaking under eye bags, color correction. Again, if your under eyes are purple, you want like a yellowy under eye. Banana powder is great for that.
Awesome, awesome. Do folks have any other questions? And hello, AJ. It's great to meet you as well. Any final questions before we sign out? Well, I'm waiting for questions because if there is a question, it might be to something that'll take a while to type. Ylluria, thank you so very much. This was super informative. I learned a lot, and I'm sure everybody else did as well. Thank you,
Thanks for having
everybody,
me.
for tuning in. Ylluria, where can we find you online?
You guys can find me pretty much everywhere online under my first name, YLL. Here, I'm gonna you can see. There we go. YLLURIA. Pretty much everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, um, TikTok. I'm a TikToker, so if you guys dig TikTok, hit me up. I'm just about 12 away from hitting 5,000. So if you want to follow me there, that'd be awesome. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/mermaid Ylluria and YouTube at youtube.com/Ylluria. Pretty
Awesome,
much everywhere in the
awesome.
same name. If you Google that word, you will find me.
Marvelous. Marvelous, marvelous. And Society of Fat Mermaids, of course, is everywhere at Society of Fat Mermaids. We're not on TikTok, but we're on Facebook, YouTube. We're slowly building our YouTube. This is part of us slowly building our YouTube. We have our Facebook group. If you're not a part of it, Society of Fat Mermaids, Let's Connect. I've posted a link to it in the comments. What else is there? I'm Mermaid Shay Monique. I'll write my name out for you in just a second. If you want to find me looking more glamorous than in my favorite sweatshirt. Uh, in the
Shay,
house.
you should tell them about your clothing wear stuff.
I was just about to get there. So, Society of Fat Mermaids is a size inclusive. In addition to being this wonderful community that is growing, we're also a size inclusive clothing line that has all sorts of mermaid themed attire available. And I had a cute little scroll of our sale for everybody who came here. You can save 15% on your order with the code LIVE15. We're running a shipping special. We have like $4.50 flat rate shipping right now, while we're all struggling with coronavirus, and maybe hopefully not the actual virus, but the effects of it. Erica thanks us and can't wait to swim with us again. Same. I want to swim with all my friends, all my friends. But yeah, thank you everybody. We're going to do a similar makeup tutorial probably in about 3 weeks. It'll be on a Monday evening as well. Please share your pictures either in the Facebook event or our Facebook group,
And
or
that one will be about waterproofing, yeah?
yes, specifically about waterproof makeup. So let your friends know, and we're going to keep it right on the page so you don't have to be in the Facebook group to access the live tutorial. And we've been doing bi-weekly kind of more casual crafternoons. Our next one will be this Sunday at 2 Eastern or 11 a.m. Pacific. And it's a Zoom hangout. There'll be a Facebook event just with all the information, but it's just a Zoom hangout. And if you're working on any type of craft project, we just kind of like a stitch and bitch. We just work on our crafts, catch up, hang out. So if you need, more community during this time of isolation, you can join us on Sunday. And we'll be doing that every other Sunday. So you can look for the Facebook event, join our Facebook group for that information. And if you ever need to reach us, we're at also info@societyofatmermaids.com. Yeah.
It's a
Erica.
great time. I can verify. Those crafternoons are a lot of fun.
Yes, it's definitely a nice kind of little getaway from the monotony of it all. Thank you all again. This has been absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. I am putting in my name in the comments in case you want to follow me, Mermaid Shay Monique. I don't know how people multitask. That's where I struggle. I'm like, I can't talk and type. AJ, you can absolutely join our group. So just I put a link in. I'll put a link in again. Hold on. Let me hit a copy. Look at me multitasking after I just said I couldn't. And paste. Haha, technology. And you just need to read the rules, say you'll follow the rules. And if you want to tell us why you want to join, that's awesome too. Jade says, thank you so much. Jade, we want to see your cakes.
Hey,
Um,
no,
all right, everybody, this has been absolutely lovely. Thank you so very much. And we'll see you maybe on Sunday and definitely in a few weeks.
and Shay, I think you can agree if anybody has any questions about what we've talked about or makeup-y, mermaidy stuff in general, they can ping us on the event for this, yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you forget something and you remember it later, we're not gone. Come say hi.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you
Okay.
guys for coming. It's been amazing.
All right. Take care. We'll see you guys in a few weeks. AJ loves us, and Jade sent us cupcake emojis, and hopefully soon cupcake pictures. Grace is sending kissy faces. All right. Good night.